Hi, this is Melanie. I'm 30 years old and I work as an editor in New York City. I had a husband, but now we're really not on terms. This was a sudden thing that happened between us and something that had to do with his parents. The main reason was his betrayal. We're still working on our divorce. He has not come to terms with it, but I don't give a rat's ass anymore. He was working as a bartender in a renowned restaurant. For privacy reasons, I won't be mentioning the names of the places we work at. He was in his own lane and I was working as an intern at the time. So, feeling independent, I wanted to take my parents to a fancy restaurant, and this one was very near to where I lived. How convenient, isn't it? Well, now I wish I had chosen a different restaurant. My parents were very happy for me. I was always an underconfident girl, so the fact that I got a job in New York as an intern writer really changed my perspective. They were hesitant at first, but when I assured them, they agreed. New York is a big city, and somehow, with the favor of luck, I managed to find a second-hand apartment. The man was really old and he wanted to give it away before going to his daughter's place in Michigan. This felt like my calling because, weirdly enough, I'm from Michigan too. The place was a three-bedroom apartment. It was pretty decent and neat. The amazing fact was I got it for cheap. The restaurant where Greg used to work was a 20-minute drive from there. When we reached, there was a party going on, some rich person's birthday. Thank God I booked 3 reservations or it would have been really embarrassing for me. The place was cozy and there were many people, but we had a really private compartment just for ourselves. We were having a casual chit-chat about work and life when suddenly a waiter came and handed out drinks to the 3 of us. When I asked the waiter who gave it, he simply pointed me at a counter. I looked and saw a tall, charming blonde man. He was serving drinks and talking to other people. At first, I didn't pay much attention, but later I noticed him making eye contact with me. I don't know why I was blushing, but I did anyway. My parents understood the vibe and they nudged me to talk to him and that they would sit here and enjoy themselves. I was shy, but I went ahead to the counter. He was very attractive, at least to me. So, how much for the extra drinks? We didn't really order this. It's on the house, ma'am. That's really sweet of you, but I don't really need anything free. I'll pay for it. My parents are here and I don't want them to think. Think of it as a present. Is this your first time in this restaurant? Yes, I actually am new here. I've got a job as an intern recently. Oh, really? Me too. I just joined here. It's been a month. That's nice. It's nice to see someone like me here. Before we even knew, we were already giggling and laughing at stupid things and each other's jokes. Greg had a friendly demeanor, and my 27-year-old heart couldn't contain the emotions they were feeling. As I said, I was very shy and kept to myself, so had very few friends during school and uni life. For some reason, Greg made me feel at ease, like I can talk to him without thinking. Melanie, and yes, maybe sometimes when I feel bored and stressed with work, I wouldn't mind a drink or two. Well, Melanie, it was really a pleasure knowing you. His parents lived in Australia. He was born there, but he decided to come to New York City later on because it was his dream city. He was always wary of his family. He loved them a lot, but also was scared of them. He would often call them and request them to come visit. The thing is, I did not like it when he hid me from them. He would always say that he was with someone from work. You keep hiding me from them. Is it a problem? Yes. No, I mean, they do not have to know. They won't be missing anything. Plus, there would be ample time to introduce you to them. All right, then. I really hope I'm not causing you any trouble. I just like being with you, and I just want us to be a bit honest with each other, that's all. Well, you aren't really my girlfriend, so I don't really have to. Besides, if things go well between us, I can think of making some amends. Right now, it's not my priority." Those words stung me like thorns on the rose. I mean, I know we weren't a thing at that time, but he gave me all those mixed signals that really confused me. Plus, I was so stupid and naive to think he could possibly love anyone. Then again, he would take me to nice places and show me around whatever he had explored when he came to this city. I was feeling very free and happy. The accomplishment felt well achieved. By the end of the fall, Greg started to go all romantic with me. It confused me even more. I mean, I liked him, but he never really showed any interest to begin with. He would call us partners in crime, and to be honest, I didn't know what to feel about that. Meanwhile, my work was well appreciated and I managed to get a raise. We celebrated the event by having a picnic in the nearby park. That's when I realized he was holding and intertwining my fingers. I felt a tad bit uncomfortable. I didn't like how he was toying with me. "So, Melanie?" "Yes?" "What do you think of us?" "What do you mean?" "You know what I mean." I feel nice around you, if that's what you want to know." "Just nice? Nothing more?" "I don't know what else to say, Greg. You said we were friends, and you are a good friend." "Friend, you say? Do you think friends like spending this much time together?" I had nothing to answer. Greg wanted me as his partner. It has been almost a year and a half since we've known each other, and I'm getting old. I told Greg that I needed time. He'd said he'd wait, but not for long, 'cause he is too impatient. He moved in with me soon after, and it started to feel like the real deal. Even my mind started to feel conflicted the moment he drew the ring. I did say yes. It sounded as if those were the only words that wanted to come out. The proposal was grand, and it made me feel really special. I was happy that it was Greg. I don't know if this was bad luck or a bad omen. Greg lost his job within 4 months of getting married. After the official business was done, Greg happily moved into my apartment. We took our time fixing the space so that we can make room for everything. My parents were happy, but also skeptical. I mean, why wouldn't they be? Greg was the kind of husband who would really love me, but not seem to acknowledge me in front of other people. There were times when we went to parties and he would let me go to hang out with his friends. He would not really introduce me until I made the move. He still wouldn't tell his parents. "So, babe, shouldn't we let your family know once?" Yes, in time. Not now. Why are you always in a hurry?" "Again? Why not? Jesus, Greg, this is too much, don't you think? What is wrong with us?" "Look, I have a lot of explanations to give, and I need time. So don't meddle in things you don't understand." I didn't understand what the explanation was, but I was patient. The only thing that I wanted from him was to acknowledge me. He would go meet his boys every now and then, sometimes without informing me. I would receive his phone calls after he had reached there. This would continue for a while, when he suddenly lost his job. The reason he gave me was that he fought with his colleague and did some collateral damage. He told me that he would borrow my money for a while until he gets another job. I remember him crying in his bedroom like a little boy. I wonder what goes on in that head of his. "Well, don't worry about the money. Just let me at least know what's going on." "It's an emergency, and I promise I will make it up to you once I get the job, okay?" I tried to keep our house together, made some renovations and changes. My parents were also sending me money sometimes so that I could handle the household a bit more efficiently. I was happy to feel independent, but you see, sometimes money can get spent very quickly. I, too, need support, and as much as I love Greg, I wanted him to help me as soon as possible. One day, his words fell on me like explosives. Honey, I have something to tell you. My parents, what about it? They will come to visit you. I mean us. Huh? Okay. Did they say when? In 2 days. I've arranged everything. I just need you to do a small favor. Okay. Can you please tell my parents that I bought this apartment and all the other things? They are unaware of the fact that I don't have a job, and it would be kind of embarrassing if they, you know. I know it sounds weird, but my parents are really judgmental and scary if they get to know I lost my job. Babe, please understand this. Okay, fine. It is temporary. You know how bad I am at lying. They won't know. Don't worry. I just try at least, please. Whatever you need. I didn't like the offer he made, but I had nothing else to do. I thought maybe it was temporary, so I let it slide this one time. Greg was suddenly very loving and caring towards me. He would make me breakfast and sometimes even dinner. It's not like I wasn't enjoying it, but I couldn't help but think that it felt rather odd. I wanted to take a few days off so that I can spend some time with his family. My boss was kind enough to give me 3 days and also promised to not cut any money. I was, after all, a hard-working woman. They will be here any minute. Is everything ready? How do I look? You look fine. Just stop fidgeting. You are making me nervous. Yeah, okay, I'm fine. The cab reached in front of the apartment gate around the afternoon. I was very nervous, but I knew that I had to be my very best self in front of them. They came upstairs looking very stern and serious. I had never met someone who would look as intimidating as his parents. They were tall and blonde just like him, but their faces had a disgusted expression. Once they entered the room, they were rather pleased. They scanned every nook and cranny of the place as if they were judging the household that I so dearly built. But then again, my credit wasn't there. No bad. Pretty nice. Love the little decor. Your choice? Yes, mostly, and a little bit of help from Melanie. Oh, yes, the wife. What is it that you do, dear? I work in editorial content. Oh, a writer, basically. Yes, well, not like an author or something, but yes. Why don't you sit and relax? I will get you all something to eat. Isn't that Melanie's job, dear? She must be making you work really hard. Oh, no. I love to help around. Melanie, dear, why don't you get to know each other? I would go and get something to eat. Sure. I sat there silently while they kept looking around. I was feeling hella nervous. I didn't know what to say or do, and just kept staring at their annoyed expressions. They didn't like me. That was clear to me. So, my son's working in a corporate office? He must be really tired. Do you do everything for him, like tending and all? Yes, I do. He's earning quite well, seeing the interior condition. Are you able to support him? Yes. Greg tells me that you have not been able to give him time. Really? So, what have you contributed so far, other than taking in all his expenses? Excuse me? We were interrupted by a coffee break from Greg. I noticed the cup he presented me was bad and almost broken, whereas he served the 2 of my best cups to his parents. He gave me no snacks, but gave them a plate full of Cheez-Its. So, how's everything? Why did you both get married exactly? Well, don't you think you were a bit fast? No, I just wanted to marry her 'cause I like her. Right. Well, was the journey comfortable? Nobody responded. I started to grow very uncomfortable. I eyed Greg. He eyed back. We both got up and went into our room. What the hell was that? What was what? That attitude. Why are they being like this? I don't know. Did you say anything? Say? I just freaking kept answering their interrogations, and you saw how when I asked something, they didn't respond. Well, maybe they're just jet-lagged. They'll be fine. Let's take them out today. Can I borrow your card? This is wrong, Greg. They think I don't do anything for you. This is terribly insulting. Honey, I know. Just a few more days, babe. They'll be gone. Fine. The evening was horrible. Greg went ahead and gave his parents a treat from my card. I didn't feel welcome, so I loitered around the shops and stuff. I was feeling lost. I didn't know if things were going well at all. I was thinking about the times when I made important decisions. Well, the fact that I did rush with marriage says a lot. I mean, many people take these decisions pretty lightly. I sighed and scrolled through my phone. My best friend from work left me 3 messages. I felt like I could just call him once. Hey! Yeah, what's up? You didn't reply to me. Caught up with a situation here. I think I messed up. I'm scared. With Greg? Yeah. Well, how about we meet up tomorrow? Oh, wait, you took 2 days off. Anyways, I can't. Greg's parents are here. That bimbo called his parents? Finally? Matthew. Okay, sorry. Well, how are his parents? They hate me. The conversation would have gone on for a long time when suddenly I heard footsteps from behind. I immediately cut the call. It was Mary. She looked like she would beat me or something. I was low-key expecting that, not gonna lie. She came and glared at me. Well, enjoyed the... You are robbing my son of his money. What? You have been depending on him for so long. He's devastated. Wait, what did he tell you? That you are a leech. My hands became cold. I was speechless. This wasn't happening to me. Greg told me to pretend, but we didn't talk about this type of pretense. I was the leech, the one who was holding him off for so long, who made the apartment worthwhile for living in, who took care of him. I heard you've been taking half the ownership of his. I will not let that happen. Give him full authority over this place. What? Authority? Half? I'm not really clear on what you are. You will not share this apartment with him. Gold digger. Seduce my boy for his money? I should have known from the start. Take your belongings and leave. We do not approve of this marriage. I looked behind her to see Greg and my father-in-law chatting and smiling at each other. Tears were filling my eyes. My anxiety rose to its peak. I could feel my throat drying up, but I knew I had to cover for Greg until I got the chance to speak to him. I smiled at him, and he didn't return it. We head back. I was really exhausted. I wanted to speak to him, but he was still talking to his parents. Once it ended, he came to the living room and switched on the TV. I sat beside him. So, can we leave the pretense? Just for a little while? Sure. I love you. Me too. So, whatever you cooked up with your family, it is temporary, right? Look, Melanie, maybe you should go back to Michigan for a while till I figure this out, okay? My parents are going to stay for a while. What are you saying? You heard me. That was it. The last conversation I had. He gave me silent treatment no matter how much I questioned him. He didn't budge. He just went silently to bed. I was crying all night at Matthew's place. His wife was really sweet to give me a space to stay for the night. I was kicked out of my own house. Matthew was dumbfounded by the situation. You do know that you still have the power to destroy his life, right? He's still jobless, using your card. Yes. Look, give him the ownership of the apartment. After all, he won't be able to pay the bills. The debt will kill him. But what if he refuses to take the offer? He is so dumb. He will. He thinks he can get away with it. What about our marriage? Are you kidding me? You still want to stay with that turd after all this? Please, you deserve better. I had a thorough discussion with Matthew about what to do next. It was a difficult execution, but if I pulled it out well, this would work. I saw my phone that day. Greg called me 3 times. I messaged him saying I made a decision. The next day, I met Greg in a nearby cafe. He apologized to me greatly. I remained silent. Well, I know things are messed up. Look, for now, go to Michigan and stay with your parents. I will take care of the things here and then come back to take you. Sure. And? Then I'll try to get a job. But for now, can I please keep your card, honey? Yeah. I've also decided on giving you ownership of the apartment. For now, let me pay all the bills. Later on, you can return me back. Wow! Are you sure? Yes. I will make things right, babe. I promise. I realized how easily he took the deal, without even thinking about all my hard work and effort. I knew then it was all over. And also, he is dumb. I went back to Michigan and requested my boss to let me work from home since I had a family emergency. My boss was extremely considerate. I cried a lot at my parents' house. I told them everything and they were furious, but they didn't scold me. I learned a valuable lesson. Now it was time to take action. I blocked my card, which was being used by Greg. After the ownership was given to Greg, I made sure not to keep any written documents on me, claiming I would continue to pay bills and stuff. So naturally, I cut that off too. Let's see how he pays all the debt piling up. Matthew gave me another offer of a cozy 2-bedroom apartment somewhere near my office back in New York. I accepted it. It was kind of him to help me out through this process. I went to court along with my family and worked on the divorce papers that would be sent to him soon. I made sure he was cut off from all supplies on my part financially and emotionally. He was dependent on me. He thought he would lie and keep me away from everyone and would also use me for his own benefit. Now, that's not going to happen anymore. Enough. After a month, I received an unknown call. I picked it up and surprisingly, it was Mary, Greg's mother. She was frantically crying and apologizing. Is this Melanie? Dear, it's me, Greg's. Oh, yes. How can I help? I'm really sorry. My son made a small mistake and now he's in deep trouble. Oh, really? What kind of trouble? His card was declined and he's received a warning letter for not being able to pay water and electricity bills. But he has a job. He can do it. No, dear. Look, I understand. We made a mess. He didn't mean it. Please, give us a bit of money, just enough for us to get plane tickets. Oh, really? Now? Sorry, no. I'm going to send something else, though, later on. What? Divorce papers. I hung up. It was hilarious how Greg didn't even have money to pay for his parents' flight tickets to get back. Of course, he couldn't. He was probably planning to bring his parents here permanently since he had to pay for his parents' bills back in Australia. I became his source of money. But he wanted to man up, so he told his parents that the whole apartment was his and everything was his doing. But now he will be getting warning letters after letters until the government decides to cut off his power source. He has to pay all of that at once. I wonder how he will be managing. I don't care anymore. Greg was new in New York City. There was no possible way he could fish off help from someone, and the restaurant he was working in hated him to the core because he did cause hazards there. Meanwhile, I have a new apartment and 2 dogs. Matthew gave them to me. They are really adorable. The divorce papers were sent long back. I know it would take time because Greg calls me every night to help him and apologizes, but I don't listen. I mostly cut the call on him. Recently, I got promoted as an editor, and now I feel like I am finally settled.